Good Monday morning. Welcome. It's that time once again, the Patriot Radio News Hour, and I'm Joe Jaquint, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group for over 2 decades. Yeah, incredible to think how long that's been. We've been right here delivering economics with attitude, wealth insurance, legal, lawful, constitutional tender. Maybe something we really need to start paying a lot more attention to is the Constitution seemingly under attack all over the place. Whether it be the things that happen with the gun situation and all these companies now deciding they're going to be the ones that are going to dictate to everybody, and of course, obviously that's led by other people. Now you saw, who was it? Shoot. You know, that's what happens on live radio on Monday. I always got to get geared up, and I had it all ready to go. And this is, you know what, I got to write more stuff down. As the older I get, the more things I need to write down, and I didn't, and now it escapes me. I'll get back to it. The website today, allamericangold.com. We got pictures up. You see the Patriot logo all over the place. Ramon loaded up the pictures from the No Safe Places event that we sponsored here in the Valley of the Sun. You can check that out. Dennis Prager, Adam Carolla. The pictures are up at allamericangold.com. Don't forget, big event this weekend up in Johnstown. We're going up to the mothership. Wendy and I are both going to be at KHNC at the radio station Saturday from 11 to 2. We're going to have a meet and greet. We got a catered lunch there for everybody. I hope all of you show up. Whether or not you want to do business, we're going to have a ton of product there. Whether you're buying, selling, trading, we can help you, or just to say hello. Come on down, get yourself something to eat. Let's put faces and names together, and I just think the Front Range community is incredible, and I really encourage a lot of you out there. I know that you listen to us day in and day out, but we never had an office up there, and I get it. It's convenient to stop at your local place up there to do business. I hope you come. Give us a chance to earn your business. I think you're going to love it. That's Saturday, March the 10th.
Yes. From
11 to 2, right, Wendy?
11 to 2. Nice barbecue catered place. I found a really nice place there. And
well, you're really hitting that food. You're getting me hungry now.
Right, I know. Barbecue chicken.
And the weather's supposed to be great?
Yeah, it's supposed to be Saturday, as I saw, 58.
So we'll be in pants and long-sleeve shirts
and my heavy winter jacket.
Right. Everybody else will probably show up in shorts, but that's how we're going to go.
But,
you went and got gloves.
No, I had gloves.
Oh, okay.
Don't forget, I go back east.
Okay, all right. I forget.
But there's no snow in Colorado. Yay!
Oh, there isn't?
No, it's fine. That's fine.
Awesome.
But I'm happy.
All right, so we don't have to worry about the mountain hermits. You got no excuses.
Right.
Everybody come on down.
Meet us. You'll just be so surprised.
We're gearing up. We're going to have a second hour up there.
Yes.
And we got giveaways, and we're going to be giving away some gold. We're going to be giving away some silver.
We are?
Oh, yeah. I got it all set up.
You didn't tell me.
I know. Well, I wanted you to be surprised.
He doesn't tell me anything. He's just like Patriot.
You're on a need-to-know basis. I just said I have to write stuff down or I forget now. And
I have little yellow pads for you.
I know. Well, I filled them all up. That was the problem. I filled them all up, and now I need more yellow pads to write more stuff down.
I'll get you more. Okay.
So, anyway, that's going on. We will be up there Saturday. I want to reiterate, if you want to sell, I'm looking for cases of Silver Eagles or maybe bags of junk because they're heavy,
right?
And they cost a lot to ship. So if you want to sell any of those, call us ahead of time. So if you could, it'd be great if you call us today. Let us know.
Yeah.
If you're going to be selling a large quantity of gold as well, same thing, and we can make some arrangements for that to happen. 800-951-0592. The Dow had a tough week last week. Right right now it's kind of teetering back and forth. Can't make up its mind whether it wants to go up or whether it wants to go down. Everybody's talking about the tariffs and what's happening there. And if you didn't catch it last week, Donald Trump announcing that steel tariffs and aluminum tariffs were going to go into place, sent Wilbur Ross out on the idiot box, and Wilbur Ross was trying to tell the American public that it wasn't going to cost anything, right? He had a Campbell's soup can and a Coke can and was trying to tell you, hey, well, it's only going to cost another 0.6 of a penny. And you think about, how many cans of soup and soda cans do they sell? That's millions and probably billions of dollars. Of course, Campbell's and Coke both came out afterwards and said, hey, stop using our stuff and your numbers are wrong. But neither here nor there. It's been astounding that I'm listening to these people come out and tell us, oh, this is going to cost us jobs and all this, and all of these things. And you got all of these quote unquote think tanks that are really just extensions of the industrial complex, the New World Order, all these globalist companies that are coming out and trying to make it sound like this is going to be horrible, that actually protecting American workers is now bad, and if you protect American workers, you're just going to cost more American workers their jobs. That's the logic, and of course we know the truth. The truth of the matter is I'd love to find out if any of our quote-unquote companies have ownership in some of these steel and aluminum companies that are allegedly dumping. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592. That is our toll-free number. Things move quick. So I finally got what I forgot. Wendy's like, are you losing your mind? And I'm like, I may be losing my marbles. But what I was trying to get you to, all of our whether it's the First Amendment, Second Amendment, now we've got this, I don't know what to call it, so I'll call it the ultra-left, who wants to be the new, I don't even know what to call it, constitutional police, or really go against anything that the Constitution stands for. It was Alex Jones I was trying to think of. CNN went after the advertisers of Alex Jones. Of course, YouTube was going to take him off the air, or unsubscribe him. And one of the things that, and again, I'm not going to bash Alex Jones. He has the right to say whatever he likes. I would never use him as a source, but you cannot deny that he's been right a lot of times. Yeah, he's maybe gotten some bad information out there, but he's also been right plenty. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, they try to get him out of YouTube. They put pressure on YouTube, and then CNN, because I don't even know if companies even knew. If you're big enough like he is on YouTube, you can get ad monies and all that, and they went after all the companies that were, using YouTube to advertise to try to go after them. One of the things that we've never done here, never want to do, that's why we're never sponsored. That way they can't tell me what to say. Right? They said they take me off of YouTube. I guess they could. I hope they don't. But again, we just seem to be going in this direction where everybody wants to rush to judgment, and everybody, and I say everybody, really, it's a very, very elite, powerful group that is behind all of that. And again, I'm going to say it again. When you become a slave to your own debt, this is what happens. It is. It's just what happens, right? You lose freedoms, you lose liberties, and this assault is going to continue until we decide as a country that we no longer want to play the game, right? We want to have sound money. We don't want a bunch of private elitist bankers and private elitist billionaires dictating what is really happening. And make no mistake about it, that is what is happening. You think Anderson Cooper's coming up with these ideas? Of course not. And all of these people became super rich, all on this private banking system. Make no mistake about it. Call it what you want, the elite, the Illuminati, I don't care. They've got all of these names, but here it is. And just another example of that is what's happening with the situation in Florida with the shooting there. I'll tell you right now, you know what's so funny? Is the school never had this kid arrested. Why? Because they didn't want to have it go on the record, right? Because that would look bad. Oh, hey, this school has X amount of kids being arrested, and I don't want to. I want to send my son or my daughter somewhere else, right? So they never did that. If they would have done it, right, he would have never been able to get the guns. Of course, we know about the FBI and the police. I mean, just a complete breakdown of the system, and yet it somehow we need to go after our Second Amendment rights. It's ridiculous. You know, all of it is just, again, like I said, the very, very few, the powerful, and their agenda with the New World Order. It's just like the trade tariffs that Trump put on, right? And everybody, you turn on the Billionaire Channel, they're all telling you how terrible it is. Oh my gosh, it's such a horrible thing. What the Canadians are our friends, and the South Koreans, they're our buddies, and we love Mexico. This wasn't, why they're our friends. Why are we doing this? So apparently, according to the Billionaire Station, it's okay for other countries to take our jobs and to take our money and take our wealth. Because, listen, make no mistake about it, when you run a trade deficit, that's what happens. Wealth leaves the country. Apparently, it's okay as long as you're our friend. You know, there used to be this saying, I used to say it to all of my friends, because most of my friends will tell you, I can be an a-hole. I can. I tend to just speak real plainly. And fortunately for me, I found enough people that actually appreciate that. But if you can't, if you can't screw over your friends, who can you screw over, right? And this is exactly what these countries have done. And somehow, I guess it'd be okay if it was the Russians, right? Right? Hey, if we were putting the screws to them, then nobody would have a problem. And you think about how ridiculous this sounds. I heard they had some guy on TV today telling us, these tariffs are going to cost jobs in America. Well, let's see. If free trade took the jobs away, now they want us. Now they're going to tell us, these tariffs are going to take the jobs away too. I mean, of course, it makes no sense. But they just don't want this. This is not what the agenda is. And the realities are a lot of the wealth that has been created on Wall Street has come at the expense of the American citizen, period. They don't want you to know it. But I saw some guy said, it's going to cost General Motors and Ford $1 billion. What? You mean we could have been adding billions of dollars to our own economy if our own workers were able to produce the steel and the aluminum to send to them? Of course, this is something we knew, right? We knew it. I heard another guy say, the steel plants of today aren't like the steel plants of yesteryear. You just don't need as many workers. So somehow, because it wouldn't employ as many people as it did 50 years ago, we don't want the job. Right? But, I mean, these are the arguments. They're nonsense, right? Remember when Alan Greenspan tried to do these are jobs Americans don't want to do. You're right. Of course. We'd rather drive around drunk people. We'd rather work part-time at JCPenney, right? Flip burgers at McDonald's. We'd much rather do that. And they spin it out, right? And they've got their mouthpiece, right? They've got the media. It's the same thing in either direction, right? You got the one side, with the Me Too revolution and the guns and the Alex Jones and the Russia this, Russia that. Then you got the other side that's out there telling you, hey, listen, it doesn't matter what's good for America. Let's forget about that. Let's talk about what's just good for us. But we're going to come out and tell you why it's bad for you. Listen, we played that clip last week with Richard Nixon. And they knew then what. Do you think the laws of economics stopped applying after 1971? Do you? The reality was simple. We decided to go full fiat currency, which meant that eventually it was going to go to zero. That's what it meant. And it always had meant that for hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years. It's always meant that. Right? Part of the reason why the Constitution said the money needs to be gold and silver is because they had real-life experience with it. And I've told this story a million times. I wish they would actually teach it in history, but they don't teach it that way in history classes. Because we want to pretend that we like the central bank and that fiat money's good. It goes to zero. But how we convinced the American people when we did it that it was going to be okay this time was like, listen, it'll be fine as long as Americans buy American. And you know what? Think about what we did. We decided to do the exact opposite. Think about when did the deficits really start growing? And I know Reagan had an advantage because he could hide some of it with the Social Security stuff. But, the deficit was still only $5 trillion in the, 96, 97, 98, 99. But I don't think it crossed $6 trillion in 2000. It wasn't until business, along with the media, somehow helped convince us that Americans shouldn't buy American anymore. It had been going on at a smaller pace. Right? The last trade surplus the country ever ran, was, I think, 1973 or 74, one of those years. 73, 4, or 5. One of those 3 years was the last time we ever ran a trade surplus. And remember, in Richard Nixon's speech, one of the things they talked about was trade, right? And this was supposed to help us. And, of course, just, again, another one of those, kind of like, oh, don't worry, Obamacare's going to reduce the debt, or all these other stuff that they keep promising that never ends up happening. And you start to look at all of these things. And the deficits really started spiking, but about a half a dozen years or so after free trade started. All of a sudden, instead of running trade deficits of $50 billion or $100 billion or $200 billion, they jumped to $500, $600, $700. Donald Trump tweeting out last week, $800 billion, and all of it leaving the United States. And now we have to give tax breaks so our big multinational corporations will bring money back home that they were supposed to create jobs with. Instead, they're going to buy back their own stock. I mean, you got $250 or $500, or maybe some couple lucky people got 1,000. Most Americans got nothing. So they could buy back their own stock. By the way, another new record. So this is I want to say 3 straight days in a row last week, they've upped the number. As of Friday, they're now saying $800 billion worth of stock buybacks in 2018. New all-time record high. Congratulations. And, of course, now we think about the other side now where we're like, hey, wait a minute, enough now. We're going to want this back. And this is where we're at today. And now we've got to fight the industrial machine because they come out and Wall Street's falling and they come out and say that these are bad. This is bad for America. This is bad for the global economy and all of this other nonsense. And here's the reality. The reality is the vast majority of Americans can't make ends meet, period. Right, we got 50-plus million. It's 1 out of every 3 U.S. workers has to have a side hustle, right? Has to have a side hustle just to make things work. CNBC today, this was I could believe it. For young adults, and young adults, again, this is, I don't know how 34-year-olds became young adults, but this is millennials. Okay, that have a full-time job. Okay, this isn't. We're not counting any of the part-timers, which is probably most of them. 25%, 24% of millennials who are fully employed are receiving help from their parents to pay the bill. According to the latest survey, the majority of them, of course, do not live with mom and dad. So here it is. I'm 30 years old. I've got a full-time job, and I still need help from mommy and daddy. What's wrong with that picture? That's the new American dream. Patriot Radio News Hour halftime.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, the conservative pro-family broadcast of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, a leading voice for the sanctity of life, traditional education, the Constitution, and American sovereignty. And now, from the archives of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, here is Phyllis Schlafly.
Resolutions are popping up in many state legislatures asking Congress to call a convention to discuss amendments to the U.S. Constitution. These resolutions originate because some people want Congress to vote for a certain constitutional amendment, and Congress hasn't done it, so its proposers have moved on to Plan B and want to use the never-before-used section in Article 5 of our Constitution, which says that if 34 states request Congress to call a convention, Congress must call one. Some of these people want a balanced budget amendment. Some want the Equal Rights Amendment. Some want what is called the Repeal Amendment to allow states to repeal an act of Congress. Some want to get rid of the Electoral College. And one group wants a list of 10 new amendments. Calling a national convention to consider changes to the U.S. Constitution is a very bad idea, because once a convention is convened, we would have no control over what it does. There are no rules about how delegates would be selected, how they would be apportioned among the states, whether they would have to have a two-thirds majority to vote out an amendment. Former Chief Justice Warren Burger wrote that there is no effective way to limit or muzzle the actions of a constitutional convention. The convention could make its own rules and set its own agenda. Congress or the states might try to limit the convention to one amendment, but there is no way to assure that the convention would obey. I've attended dozens of political conventions, and I've seen every possible rule broken, and there's nothing the delegates can do about it. The guy who controls the gavel is able to exercise total control over the rules, the agenda, the microphones, and the adjournment. Tell your state legislators to vote no on any resolution to call a convention to tamper with our great Constitution.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. Anyone pushing for a constitutional convention doesn't have a full appreciation for the brilliance and beauty of the original document ratified back in 1788. At phyllisschlafly.com, you'll find all kinds of reasons why a con could be a disaster for the American way of life. Check out phyllisschlafly.com and join us again next time for the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
Here's the reality. You want to understand what it did? You know, it's really, after you separate the BS and the spin and the lies and the manipulation and all these people. Listen, they're highly educated. They are. They'll come out and they'll sound like they know what they're talking about. They're all on the payroll. Produce a report that shows you that this is bad and we're going to run with it. I mean, that's what they want to do. And here's all you need to really look at. What did it do? 1 out of every 4 full-time working millennials need help from their parents. And this is working 35 hours a week or more. So think about how many millennials really need help from their parents. Half? Are you kidding me? You could move out. Even when I was in school, the second you graduated, you could move out and still be able to get by and live. Now, the number one bill, cell phone. Number 2 bill, car insurance. Just little things like that. There's 75.4 million millennials now. Man, wow. I wonder how much debt these people are in. Right? No one seems to talk about that, right? You can be 17. Most kids, when they first walk onto a college campus, are 17, 18, a few maybe 19, somewhere between 17 and 19 years old, and we can allow these people to rack up hundreds, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt, and nobody thinks that's a problem? Here's what it really did, though. They carry the largest student debt load ever. Their wages are significantly lower than their parents' earnings when they were in their 20s. So it's 18 to 34, but let's, say their 20s. A study done by the Federal Reserve itself. You sit there and you listen to these people come out and tell you, we don't see any signs of inflation. We don't see this and we don't see that. We can't see bubbles. And they sit there and try to cheerlead the economy and how great it is. Millennials, on average, if they had full-time work, which is the scary part, because when you were growing up, there was no problem getting full-time work. There wasn't. I know. There wasn't. According to the Federal Reserve's own data, millennials are earning 20% less than their inflation-adjusted baby boomers were in 1989. Now, I don't know what baby boomers were not in. Baby boomers weren't in their 20s. This is such a bad article. First of all, baby boomers weren't in their 20s in 1989. That was me. That was the early part of Gen Xers were in their 20s. But nonetheless, from $50,900 now down to $40,500 is the difference between the millennials and the generation before them. And you know what? I'm going to tell you right now. It's the Amazon effect. And it's no, it was NAFTA and GATT. We gave it all away. Wow, by the way, I'll break down. I didn't go far enough down. Cell phone was number 1, but car insurance and car payment and utilities all were right there. 31%, 30%, 30%, 27% on the rent, 18% on the health, 18% on student loans, credit cards. I mean, when you add it all up, wow. This is what it takes for your kid not to live in your basement. If if you take into consideration all adult children, those aged 18 or older who may or may not be working full-time, 74% of parents reported helping them out with expense and debt. So there you have the real number. Okay, let's take everybody ages 18 to 34. How many of them need help from mommy and daddy? 3 out of every 4. This is what they've done. And now they want to come out and say how horrible it would be, how terrible it would be if we decided, you know what? We're tired of playing the huckleberry. We're tired of playing the fool. We gave away all these jobs and we shouldn't have. We want to be treated fairly and with respect. How can you have any respect? Could you imagine? I'd be horrified if every single month after month after month, here you are, you're 25, you're 26, 32, 33, and you need your parents to help you every month just to get by. How did that happen? How did that become the American dream? And you sit there and you look at, I'm going to tell you, it's real simple. Look at the stock market. It's almost at, well, it's not at all-time highs now, but still, it's been right there. How did it get there? Well, the answer was simple. They had to take it from somebody. What we didn't know was they were taking it from us. And now they're sitting there trying to act like this is going to be the end of the world when you talk about trade and what's happening with trade and all of those other things. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be an extremely, extremely interesting situation and how all of this is going to play out. I don't know. You know, Trump was out today saying, hey, I'll ease up on Canada and Mexico if we get a fair free NAFTA agreement. And, you know, you start thinking about all of those things, and I don't know what that even means. I would love to see it, but I don't know what that's going to entail. And what, you know, my guess is that so much would have to be done to make this all work. You know, I guess inflation would have to skyrocket, wages would have to skyrocket, Wall Street would have to suffer, but then maybe we wouldn't have to help out our kids all the time. Patriot Radio News Hour, we'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. Wendy just got a call from one of our major suppliers. There is a $150 $5 Liberty. So these are the older ones. We ran the AUs the other day. These are just the raw, regular $5 Liberties. And the price is outstanding. So you're $355, which if you took the spot price and you divided it by 4, right now spot's $13.22. So if you divided that by 4, it would be $330.50. So you add $24.50 over spot to get a fractional gold piece. And of course, the older ones, which you know we like here, the government classifies those as collectibles. Does that mean anything? We don't know. Right? What we know is they don't allow them to be put into IRAs, and we know that the previous Confiscation Act of 1933, the only gold you got to keep was collectibles. And you know how the government, they always leave loopholes for their buddies. Is it going to be the same loophole this time around? I don't know. But when you're only paying $24.50 over spot, does it matter? 800-951-0592. If you buy 20 or more, which, by the way, 20 of them would be $7,100, we'll throw in the shipping as well at 800-951-0592. Right now, this is today. It's only offered to us. Tomorrow, it's going to be offered to everybody. So when that happens, they don't last. Remember, we didn't even get halfway through the show when those the AU5 libs sold out last week. 150 of these, $355 at 800-951-0592. That is our toll-free number. And, of course, this is what allows us to be sponsor-free, right? We don't have to have sponsors because when you do business with us, this is what we use to keep the show and keep the information flowing, and we love to put it back where we found it and why us and KHNC are teaming up together as well. I'm just so excited about this weekend, and I apologize to Phoenix for mentioning it so often, but we're going to be up there at the radio station in Colorado Saturday, March the 10th from 11 to 2. We've got a barbecue ready to roll for you. Come down, say hello. We'll have product there if you want to do business. Put names to faces, and you know what? Meet a bunch of like-minded people. And, you know, if we're going to get through this, we need to do it together. You know, let's support the radio station. Let's support each other. If you're a business out there, you're a small business owner, I know that the station's working on some great packages to allow you to get the word out. And I'm telling you, you'll see it at the event Saturday. People are going to support you. There's no doubt about it. So take the time. Support the people that deliver the message. U.S. $5 Liberty Gold pieces, $355. When you buy 20 or more, we throw in the shipping. Now, one of the things that was in the news for a couple weeks, and they didn't like it, so they've stopped talking about it. But foreign holding of U.S. Treasuries, and there's been a lot of misinformation put out, whether it's going up or going down. And what they like to do is they'll target a low month, find a high month, and then say, see, look, it's getting better, not worse. What we decided to do, hey, let's go back a little ways and see. This is from not CNN, CNS News. Chinese holdings of U.S. Treasury securities are down 10% from November of 2013. This is according to the data published by our own Treasury Department. And so you see a very clear pattern. Now, it's getting worse because of the elevated levels of debt now that we need to sell all the time. But the Chinese have been on a very consistent pattern. 2% here, 2% there, percent here, percent there. Right? But their holdings of U.S. Treasuries in the last 4.5 years has fallen by 10%, from $1.3 trillion, and now that number has fallen to what? Just over $1 trillion, a little over, I think it was 1.18 trillion, a decline of $131,800,000,000, you know, extra that other people need to absorb. But I wanted to point that out because I thought it was very important, because somebody put out an article where they found a low month in last year, and then China had a big month the following month, and they're like, look, the Chinese are buying more. No, they're not. How about Japan? Those are the two biggest. Japan's government debt actually peaked a year later, November of 2014. So the two largest holders of U.S. debt within a year of each other, both decided the same thing. We've got too many of these. And you think about how much the debt has gone up since then. And now how much more it's going to go up and who's actually going to be able to buy it. Japan, almost the same thing. $1.2 trillion down to $1.06 trillion. Down $180 billion. Actually, that's a bigger percentage than the Chinese. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back for the final segment. Final segment on this Monday. The gold and silver market's really quiet today after a strong finish to the end of the week last week. Gold's down $1, $13.22. Silver is down 2 cents, $16.38. The Dow has been, like I said, down 100, up 100. It's actually up 170. Caterpillar's up big today. My guess is they just bought a bunch of their own stock back because that's what it kind of looks like today. Right now, the Dow, it's early, though, so really, you almost don't even have to pay attention to the Dow till the last hour because then all kind of madness breaks out. But right now, the Dow's up 170 right now. Crude oil jumped $1.44 on the Russians and the Saudis now are teaming up together and trying to have a bigger influence on the price of crude oil. We'll get to that possibly tomorrow as more information comes out. I just saw a headline, so we'll have to wait and see and already get ready. The driving season is going to be an expensive one. They're looking for $3 a gallon gasoline coming up for the driving season this summer. And right now, crude oil's up $1.50, 62.76. U.S. $5 liberties. These are just raw. Listen, you know, we handle good stuff. They're great material. The price is what makes it even better. $25 over spot. So you take the spot price divided by 4, add $25. It's actually a little less than $25, but we'll say $25 because it's easy. $355 on fractions. You know, when you get the fractionable materials, that's always the way to go. I love it. When I can put a portfolio together that we can have balance like that, because normally, you know, like I said, right now, the regular price is $375. So you're thinking about when you buy 20 of them, you're going to be saving $400. That's a ton in the gold market. I mean, prices are competitive, and you know that. And that it's a great savings whether you're buying 1 coin, 5 coins, 10 coins. U.S. $5 liberties, $355. Buy 20 or more. We throw in the shipping at 800-951-0592. If you want to use a credit card, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, add $5. Add $5 a coin if you want to put it on the credit card at 800-951-0592. That is our toll-free number. Again, reminder, we'll be up in Colorado on Saturday from 11 to 2 at the radio station. Come by, show your support, do a little business, have a little lunch, and who knows, maybe you walk away with some free gold or silver. We'll be having giveaways throughout the day there as well. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about what tariffs may be coming off as well as what tariffs may be coming on. Is there going to be any trade retaliations? And then we're going to have a look inside. I know you hate to do it, but we're going to look inside the pension problem. Big announcement last week from CalPERS, now saying, hey, all the California cities, we're going to need more money. I don't know where all of that money is going to come from. News out of Illinois and New Jersey as well. Patriot Radio News Hour. Have a great rest of your Monday, but make sure you call us and place an order before you do. 800-951-0592. We'll talk again tomorrow.